G'day, Ben here. How you going? And today we're going to talk about what your biggest limiting factor is in 2022. That's right. What is your biggest limiting factor in 2022? I'm celebrating my 20 years of coaching this year. I started coaching in 2002, in January of 2002. So I've just clocked up 20 years experience. And I can tell you that in that 20 years, there's been plenty of people that felt like or believed there were things that limited their growth. And they would tell me it was things like government policy, it was no one's buying anything, it was Mother's Day, Christmas, it was the pandemic, it was the recession, there was always something. But I'm going to tell you something, that none of those things actually limit you. What limits you is yourself. Okay, so when somebody says to you, what's your biggest limiting factor, I want you to say, me. Okay, starts with M, ends with E. And it can be one of the toughest things to admit when it comes to being an entrepreneur. So as you go through 2022, and I know it's been a bit of a weird sort of couple of years, I want you to start to work on your self-beliefs, because this is the only way that you're going to truly step out of your own way and get on with getting things done. And if you believe, whatever you believe is going to be true. So I sometimes talk to people and they say to me, Ben, I'm no good at cold calling. I'm no good at talking to people I don't know. Well, if you say that to yourself, then that's what you're going to believe to be true, and that is going to 100% affect your skill level or your ability to be able to carry out those tasks. So it's not the fact that you don't have the skills, it's that you believe you don't have the skills that is going to stop you from being successful. So one of the things that I've done with many people is help them understand, first of all, that you are your biggest limiting factor, and then secondly, work on some strategies to help you overcome some of these limiting beliefs that is stopping you from succeeding. And so I'm going to share some of those with you today. All right, strategy number one is to make sure that you have a coach or mentor. Now, I know I'm a bit biased because I've been doing this for 20 years, but I can tell you now that unless you've got somebody on the outside looking in to help to tap you on the shoulder when you're doing something that's detrimental to your success, it is very unlikely that you're going to pick up on it yourself. And I know so many of you are great. You're entrepreneurs, you're positive thinkers, you're all of those things. So I'm preaching to the converted, but I think so many of you still don't see the benefit of paying somebody to actually hold you accountable. I see more people paying a personal trainer than a business coach or business educator of some sort. And I think that's a real shame. If you own a business, think of it like a personal trainer. If you have a personal trainer, you're more likely to turn up to exercise. You're more likely to work a bit harder because you've got somebody watching over you and pushing you, but you're also more likely to not make as many mistakes or do things the wrong way because somebody is there with that helicopter view watching what it is you're doing. So that's my first tip. If you really want to get out of your own way and have a great 2022, then think about it. Getting a business coach. My second tip then is every morning you need to start your day off in a way that sets your day up for success. And so think about how you currently do that and what you need to change, because if nothing changes, nothing changes. So if you're not happy with how your day currently runs, there's only one person that can take responsibility for that, and that is you. So if you feel like you're getting your day is running out of time real quick, let's say you get to the end of the day and so there's not enough hours in the day, or I don't feel like I achieved anything today, well, that is your responsibility. So start your day off correctly, get some exercise, eat a good breakfast, do some meditation, say your affirmations, whatever it is that floats your boat. I don't care what it is, but do something that sets your day up for success. Make sure that you are in the right frame of mind when you jump into the day. Avoid, getting out of bed and straight away reading your emails, because you never know what's going to be in there. There might be a grenade in your inbox. There could be a customer complaint or a team member problem that is now going to rattle you from actually getting your mindset right for the day. So, get up in the morning and create a routine that is a positive routine that sets you up for the day. That's my tip number 2. Okay, tip number 3 is be organized. I've not yet seen somebody who's super successful not be organized. Use a calendar, use a to-do list, have meetings, structured meetings, have a meeting agenda at those meetings. Block time out in your diary for the things that are important. So things like planning, reviewing your marketing, reviewing your team. Have regular meetings with your team and make sure that they're happy and that they're performing. All of these things that are important but not urgent. Okay, so I always think about why it is so many people are limiting themselves, and it's because they're stuck in this constant vicious cycle of putting out fires all the time because they don't take a step back and actually take time to work on rather than in whatever it is that they do. And that might be you, right? So that's my third tip: is make sure that you do structure your day. You are organized. Schedule everything. Absolutely everything. I mean, schedule lunch, schedule exercise, schedule meetings, schedule thinking time, schedule what I call oh shit time. If you do have a role in your business right now where you have to troubleshoot from time to time, put 3 or 4 slots in your diary per day for fixing problems. So you're not reacting to emails or reacting to problems right then and there. If something pops up, you can say, look, at 11 o'clock is when I do my troubleshooting. Okay, so you can be much more organized and much more proactive. All right, tip number 4 is make sure you are feeding your mind healthy stuff. So listen to podcasts, audio books, read a book, go to an event, get into, a mastermind group. There's so many opportunities now, for you to be able to consume good, healthy information. There's no need to be watching garbage on television that doesn't feed your mind, or hanging around the wrong groups that have negative attitudes towards life and business growth. So you want to make sure that you are surrounding yourself with the right people and you're feeding your mind with good information. One of the things I see so many people think they can just start a business and they can be successful, and with no business training whatsoever. Well, the reality is that, for the things that you do well in your life, and everybody's got something they do really well in their life. It might be cooking, it might be dancing, it might be, push bike riding, mountain bike riding, it could be fishing, it could be golf, whatever it is, right? There'll be something in your life that you have somewhat mastered and that you're really good at it. Well, I want you to think about, what education and training you did to get to the point you are currently at, because I can guarantee you that it did not happen overnight. And the same thing is true about building a business. So you need to feed your mind good information. You need to be constantly learning. And I guess that's my next tip, is if you want to earn more, you do have to learn more. You have to put that L plate on, and you really need to focus on making sure that you've got some sort of learning schedule. You've got some way of making sure that you are constantly getting new education, whether that is a podcast you listen to on a regular basis, whether it's a mastermind group that you belong to, whether it's seeking out every month another training online that you can buy, download, and participate in for the next 4 weeks, whether it's reading a book. Maybe you like reading a book. I don't like reading. I like listening. So I download audiobooks, go through dozens and dozens of them every year. You just got to decide what is your best way to educate yourself and make sure that you get on with it. All right. My final tip for, stopping yourself from being your biggest limiting factor is to dream bigger. And what I mean by that is to think about what it is you're trying to build. Because what happens is when you don't have a nice big goal that you're focused on, every problem seems like an insurmountable hurdle, something that's really hard to overcome. And the problem with that is that it can be, it can derail you pretty quickly if you have a problem crop up. Whether it's, somebody chasing a debt and sending you a collection letter because your cash flow is not good, or a team member resigning that was a key team member, or one of your major account customers, stopping with you and going to a competitor, whatever. Those sort of things sometimes seem like these huge issues that can derail you. But if you've got a really big vision of where it is you're heading, then those things become really small bumps in the road. And I can guarantee you that whilst it may really rock your world today, in 5 years' time, you won't even remember that happened. Or if you do remember, it'll be a very faint memory if your goals are big enough. So I really want you to think about not just what you're doing today, not just what you're doing this week, not just what you're doing this quarter, but what are you doing in the next 5 to 10 years? What are you building? And that'll help you overcome being your biggest limiting factor, because a lot of people don't think big enough. And in fact, most people overestimate what they can do in a year, but they underestimate what they can do in 5 to 10 years. And this is the voice of experience. As I said, this is 20 years I'm celebrating of being a business coach and working with people to help them grow their business. And I can guarantee you that it doesn't matter how many strategies I share with you. It doesn't matter how many tools or resources, checklists, all those things are great. But unless you get out of your own way, you will be your biggest limiting factor in 2022. All right, hopefully you've enjoyed today's live video. If you have, make sure you smash that love or thumbs up button. Let me know in the comments if you've got any ideas or questions. More than happy to answer them. Now, of course, if you do want some help, let's say you have decided that it is time for you to step up your game and get a business coach to help you, or even if you just want to discuss it, jump onto my website at maximumprofit.com.au and you can book yourself in there for a call. There's plenty of options there for you to book in for a call. If you're not quite ready for that, you can actually download our price guide, our program price guide there as well. So just go over there, pop your details in, download the program price guide, and that'll give you an idea of what it is that we do and how much it costs to get somebody like us to work with you. All right, hopefully that was helpful. Have a great day.